All right, welcome everyone. Dr. Anthony Criniti IV here, also known as Dr. Finance. And today we're doing a special episode. This is not an official podcast episode. I've already had our guest on before. You can check out his episode. But Jay Abraham is here, folks. He's a mentor to so many influencers out there, to name a few: Tony Robbins and Damon John from Shark Tank, and so many others that people even behind the scenes that most average people just don't know about, but are extremely highly influential and powerful. Jay is an amazing, amazing person. So welcome, Jay, to the show today. We're going to do a quick segment, and we're just basically, I want to tell you about his new book that he's got coming out. It's just an amazing book. So, Jay, welcome, Jay. How are you, sir?
I am almost impeccable. Good day. Everything is going well for me, and it's an absolute treat and a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you, Jay. Honored to have you here as well. So Jay's my friend. I want to give him a shout out and his book too, because he has a new book coming out in about a week or so. And I know this is last minute, folks, but I'd love for you guys to check this out. It's a very instrumental book in money, especially in finance and business. So if you can, Jay, you want to tell us a little about the book, the title, what it's about, et cetera. Thank you.
It's a very unique collaboration that I did with a very extremely bright gentleman named Roland Frasier. Roland is masterful at acquiring businesses using very inventive financial strategies that frequently, if not always, require almost no out-of-pocket on the form of the acquirer. And he's very good at exiting for very nice paydays. I am massively good at blowing up profit, EBITDA, and we put together our combined skill sets, and we created a book that is called Business Wealth Without Risk. And the subtitle probably is the more important: How to Create the Income and Wealth of a Lifetime every 3 to 5 years. The premise in a nutshell: why start a business from scratch when it has a 1 in 20 first year and a 1 in 10 5-year success rate, when instead you could acquire a business that has already broken through that barrier and is operating and viable, but tremendously underperforming? You can get control of it using any of 200 very, very inventive methods where other people are incentivized to buy it for you. You can then use any or many of my 97 categories, not techniques, but categories. Some of them have as many as 20 options you can apply to blow up your bottom line, to multiply by orders of magnitude the profit performance the business can deliver using no extra investment or risk. And then Roland's methodology lets you do what we call an epic exit for a monster payday, and then you rinse and repeat. That's stage one. Stage two is, if you own a business, why be content to grow it traditionally? Even if you have great marketing, great sales, great word of mouth, if you can at the same time use this strategy to acquire competition and integrate it, to acquire products, services people buy before, during, after, even instead, meaning you can compete against yourself for people that don't buy, prospects that don't convert, buyers who could buy ongoing but stop buying from you. You also learn how to acquire what's called access vehicles: podcasts, discussion groups, blogs, URLs, sales forces, phone numbers. And there's nothing like it out there. It's 447 pages. I have one of the only copies coming out. We don't even have more than this.
Check that out, folks. Foreword by Tony Robbins. Check that out, folks.
This is called Without Risk, but
without risk.
Here's what I think makes it very, I guess it has merit, makes it worth taking the time to really seriously read. It gives you step-by-step processes for doing all this, and it gives you the confidence to do it, and it gives you all kinds of success stories. But Tony Robbins wrote a 5-page foreword.
Wow.
He was impressed with the message. Damon John wrote a 3-page introduction. A man named Gino Wickman, who's very well known in entrepreneurial circles, he created EOS, and he's got many books, but his prominent one is Traction, wrote the preface. Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank is one of many endorsers. It's a very, very wonderful book, and there honestly is nothing like it. And if you read it, it will animate your sense of what's really possible, and it will shift dramatically whether you're an entrepreneur, a professional, work for a living, invest passively for a pittance of a yield. It'll change totally how you look at creating wealth and dramatically multiplying your income and the quality of life that you can have. And it gives you a very clear-cut strategies, very action-specific playbook, tremendous proof positive, confidence building, case studies. Again, there's nothing like it. It's a really, I'm very proud of it. It took us 2 years. It's 447 very, very qualitative pages. Nothing in it is hype. Nothing in it is trying to tease people. You can read this book and have a fundamental education on how to do it.
Yeah, and just real quick, folks, I just want to tell about the players that you just mentioned. So Tony Robbins, one of the top celebrities in the self-help movement. Then he mentioned two sharks from Shark Tank, which is Damon John and Barbara Corcoran. He also mentioned Gino Wickman, incredible entrepreneur, but he's doing a book. This co-author is an amazing man as well. Roland Frasier, I actually interviewed him in Clubhouse about 2.5 years ago for about 3 hours. And what an incredibly intelligent entrepreneur he is. Can you tell us a little bit more about Roland Frasier, your co-author?
Sure. Roland Frasier is a serial entrepreneur and a very, very brilliant man. He's got a portfolio himself of he doesn't own it all, but he has an equity interest in $8 billion of revenue based companies right now. He owns a meaningful interest in the digital marketer business. He had the top digital marketing conference for years, and they sold it to a private equity firm. It was called Traffic and Conversion. He owns interest in a business called The Scalable Company. He owns a company called Epic, but he owns interest in 150 companies. He is a former attorney, so he's very brilliant, but he's able to take complex issues and simplify them. He is probably he uses the word wickedly smart. He is one of the most wickedly smart people I have ever met, and he and I are very compatible. He has masterful ways to find the business, acquire the business, fund the business. I have unimaginable ways because I have about, honestly, over $50 billion of profit increases that have been estimated, attributed to my personal work or my body of work or my methodologies. Roland has these amazing ways to do what he calls an epic exit. So you acquire a business, you don't really put much or any of your own money out, so your investment is very low. You blow up the EBITDA, so it's not only servicing its own costs, but it's throwing off all kinds of positive cash flow to you. You don't even have to run it. There's all kinds of ways to have other people do it. You sell it in 2 to 3 years for many, many times more than you acquired it for, because you have multiplied the profitability 2, 3, 4 times over. And at a certain benchmark level, when you break through, the multiple increases. So maybe you buy it for 3x, but you get it to a point either through revenue, profit, or acquisition where it's worth more like 5, 6, 10x, and you've gotten so much more profit that 5, 6, 10x is so many times more than you paid for it, and then you do it over and over again. Or you do a variation of that to massively expand and explode the value, the net worth, the positive cash flow, the income you're getting out of it, and the ultimate payday you're going to get from whatever business you currently own. That's the concept in a nutshell, Anthony.
That's brilliant. Well, thank you, Jay. Jay, one last time, if you can show that book off and where we can find out more information about it.
Yeah, I think you have the link. And on September the 23rd, I'm talking behind the book, which is okay. September the 23rd, we have a live live launch. I think it's 11 o'clock Pacific time. I'm in California. And we're going to be discussing the book, explaining the book, but more importantly, we are going to incentivize people who attend that live launch to buy a book, because we're going to offer them incentives, bonuses, education programs that are worth, frankly, something like 100 times this. And it may sound unimaginable, but you always want to know the method to somebody's madness. We wrote the book together because we want deal flow. We want ultimately to get access to businesses we can buy, businesses we can blow up. But we know that in order to do that, we have to help a ton of people who may not end up being right for us, but some will refer to us, some will grow their business and be right for us, some will find us deals. So we are very, very much incentivizing people. You can go follow the link, register on the 23rd of September. We are doing the launch. It's great. If you don't want to do that, then go on to Amazon, Business Wealth Without Risk, J. Abraham, Roland Frasier, and you can pre-order, I think, probably now, whenever this is out. And either way, we will be grateful, but I promise it'll mean a lot to us because we want to sell a lot of books. Anybody writes a book, they don't write it so people won't read it. But it'll mean a lot more to you whether you are somebody who's always wanted to own a business and never thought you could, somebody who owns a business and it feels stuck, somebody who invests and is very frustrated with the limited return you're getting, somebody who sincerely and meaningfully craves a much greater amount of success, prosperity, lifestyle, and possibility in their life. With all humility and truth, this book has the capacity and capability of delivering that to you. Obviously, you have to do your part, but it tells you exactly what to do, how to do it, why, where, and it shows you how people that have done it have really prospered. So hopefully I have motivated some number of people to want to at least register and listen to the details. Perhaps some are already sold and they'll either register and buy a book or go on line to Amazon or Barnes and Noble and pre-purchase. And either way, I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Jay. And just real quick, what level of entrepreneurship would this be for? People who are just starting out, or maybe people who are advanced and already making millions a month? Is there any spectrum, or is it just one specific person for a target?
The answer is yes for everybody. I mean, you can start out and acquire a small entity in your city, in your town. You could acquire something larger. You can use one small vehicle to acquire others. You can acquire one thing and use it temporarily just to get you started, and then you can have somebody else run it. You can just have just get your sea legs. If you've got a large business, you can use it to massively and rapidly multiply the performance. You could even, if you wanted to, put somebody doing this for you and just have them buy and have people run the business and just have it be third party where you don't do anything but mastermind it. And because it doesn't require much or any money out of your pocket, the return you get, I mean, you're into finance, it can be near infinite, because the possibilities, as you will see, the numbers are laid out. So it's not pie in the sky hypothetical. Roland has 150 companies using these same strategies that he has acquired or acquired interest in. Tony Robbins, I think, owns about 200 that he's done variations of. Wow. This. And I'll tell you one of the motivations to me personally, I have generated not hundreds of millions, but probably in truth, 100 billion. I've stopped counting it, about 50 of profits. And those profits have produced valuations of the businesses I've impacted into 10 to 15 times. So you can do the math on that, it's trillion. But I have mistakenly chosen ordinary income, bonuses, short-term profit sharing, and made millions and millions of dollars. But I realized, had I done this when I was your age, other people's ages, I could have made 10 times that and had all these assets working for me. And I really encourage people to, if you're not if whatever the trajectory of the rest of your life might be, I would recommend that you read this book, because I would bet money it will help you enhance it, shorten the struggle or the goal timeline, rapidly and dramatically raise the strata that you play for, and give you a mechanism that you can really redefine and liberate and exhilarate the rest of your life, personally, financially. It's a very powerful book, and it introduces you to a way of thinking that not 1 in 1,000 people out there have ever contemplated. But it is a much faster, safer, and larger, greater way to create financial security, prosperity, wealth, and much, much more happiness.
That is beautiful. Well, thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. And one last chance. Where can we find out the information from your book again? What was, you remember that link or?
No, I don't. I thought that you had the link. I don't have it in
Oh,
front of
that's right. Yes, that's right, folks. I'm sorry, Jay. I have the link, folks. I'm going to put it actually in the description or wherever you're getting this from, whether it's YouTube or Instagram. So check out that link that's at the bottom, and it'll direct you right towards Jay's page. So appreciate you, Jay.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate your being willing to do this. I hope everybody, if you don't read the book, I hope you achieve whatever the goals you're after, financially, personally, satisfaction. If you read the book, I only hope that it inspires you to want more, achieve more, and be more. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.